Hello, 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 and welcome back to LaserBeam Live. My name is Ikenna, and you know the deal. Whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, or night, I appreciate you spending just a little bit of your time with me, whether you're watching live or you're watching this back, because all of these live streams get saved on the CNC Labs YouTube channel. Who is in the chat? We got Jack in the shop, Resident, Laser, Demon. We got Bill, Nicholas, Madra, but I don't have a laser, but I have a few minutes to learn something. That's very cool. Thanks for dropping by. What are we doing today? Well, for the past two streams before this one, we've been trying to cut out a clock. We bought some easy to make clock kits online from Amazon, and we wanted to engrave and cut out some clock faces so that I could show you guys like a proof of concept so you guys can make some cool stuff. Obviously, we only have an hour during these streams, and I've been prototyping a Pro Air Assist, a more upgraded Air Assist, over the past two streams, trying to improve the cutting ability. But both times, because I 3D printed certain parts, they melted during the cut, and they kind of ruined the cut, essentially. Both times it was essentially like a melted 3D print, or it unfocused the lens in some way. So we weren't able to cut. So this time I said, screw the Air Assist. We're only cutting 3mm or 1/8 inch wood. I know I can cut that at 2mm per second with like 4 passes. So I said, we'll worry about the Air Assist later. Let's actually just get this job cut. And then I had this really cool idea because I had time, and I was like, hey, I'll just pre-cut some stuff because there's an artist I really like, and I like his prints. And so I found some of his prints, I downloaded them, and I actually ended up engraving them before the stream. And this is what they look like. So this is essentially what you could do if you had a lot of time, or you wait for our new CO2 laser, the LaserBeam, to come out, because this takes a lot of time. With the diode and the long mill, this would take probably like 2-3 hours. So this is what I wanted to do, but you know, a simpler version, I just wanted to engrave the numbers and cut out the circle so that we could put it in the clock kit like that and add the hands and everything, and boom, you got a whole clock. But I figure I would take some time to actually show you guys some really cool stuff, like what I would do if I didn't have just like the hour time limit of the live stream. I would do some cool stuff like that. And I also cut some out, the backing in black acrylic, so you can also see the effect of like cutting out the wood and then adding a different color. So this could be wood and this could be painted, or this could be a different color acrylic, or you can paint this, or you could paint this and have this. So the contrast is where this really cool stuff happens. And I just wanted to show you off the bat. Chris actually gave me the idea of pre-making a project because of the past couple times we had some fails. So he was like, hey, why don't you pre-make a project so you know it works, and then just in case, at least they get to see what it would look like, just in case you don't get to complete it in the time. So I thought this was really cool. So I also pre-cut some circles just in case we want to take the thing that we cut out and make a backing for it. Or maybe I also did a little bit of 3mm opaque black acrylic just in case we want to do some cutouts similar to this without the engraving, only because of time. You guys can do the engraving and you guys can engrave some cool stuff. But now we have some options. So guys, in other news, alt mills continue to ship. We're working on the next batch of 150 to 200. Things are working smoothly. We're trying to organize and figure out and optimize our systems, because this is a whole new machine and a whole new undertaking, but we're using it as an opportunity to become more efficient in the long run. LaserBeam, there's going to be a version 2 prototype coming out very soon. I'm just finishing up, I'm rebuilding the linear system. It's been tested at 500mm per second, no problem. Might be adding some closed loop steppers very soon, and we're building the enclosure, and I really like how this thing is going to turn out. By the end of the month, I feel like you guys will be seeing exactly what I'm up to, and you guys will enjoy what I have. And guys, the big news is, this is episode number 51 of LaserBeam Live. We've been doing this for almost 2 years. Next episode, 2 weeks from now, Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, will be episode number 52. 2 years doing this on the dot. And we will be going on hiatus, guys. So after the next live stream, we will be going on a hiatus. But I will be returning probably end of the year, near the end of the year, with the Ultra Beam Lives, which is going to be our CO2 laser. So I'm going to replace this long mill with a CO2 laser, and we are going to be able to explore all the projects that we can do for that a couple weeks before we launch it for pre-order. So before we launch for pre-order, I'm going to come back. Jack says he lost a few steps on his new SLB, did a Bible carve, and the finished patch was 1/4 of the roughing. It got almost finishing, shifted back to the right. I am very sorry, Jack. Oh, if you had the alt mill, you would have the closed loop steppers, okay, and you wouldn't have lost steps. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. The SLB EXT, which is the alt mill SLB, plus the closed loop steppers on the alt mill actually do reduce the like you get to your encoders, and your drivers will will notify you and set an alarm if you do lose steps to avoid what happened to Jack in the shop. I'm very sorry that happened. That's always very frustrating, and it kind of sucks. But yeah, that's why I'm ordering some samples for some NEMA 17 closed loop steppers, because we want to avoid that exact same thing from happening with the laser as well. They run a little bit more efficiently, more quiet, less heat, and sometimes you can get more torque out of them for lower current. So very exciting stuff. So let's just get into it. You guys have already seen the lowdown, so I feel like we should just jump right into it. I'm just going to redo my settings here. I changed it to 2 millimeters per second because I have no air assist or nothing, so I just dropped it down. I'm doing 4 passes. I might as well do 5 because I don't want to run this twice. I want to make sure that we get it the first time. Everything else looks good. We're on line. All right, so I'm actually going to drop this down to, I think it's 0.6 we have to drop it down to. Nope, it's 0.55. 6.5, yeah, about 5.5, 0.55. Every drop down to 5, so we've got to make sure we're not hitting our material. So it has to equal the thickness of our material. That's about roughly 1/8 of an inch. And then our power is 100%, and we're at 40 millimeters per second, or 25 millimeters per second. 100%. Number of passes, yep. All of this looks good. I'm going to save this as clock face version 1.3. I'm going to load this up. All right. I already have my laser focused. So we are focused in there, no air assist. Everything should be good. Everything's zeroed. Yeah. Everything should be good. So let's go ahead and run this. We're all good there. All right. Let's start this job. So hopefully we're actually going to be cutting today, because we failed the last 2 times. But even if we don't, at least you guys get to see what this looks like in practice. I have this, the assembly instruction somewhere here for the clock. So while we're doing that, we can assemble the clock I have here. So guys, should we do it with a black face, the black backing, so wood to black, or should we do it with the wood, the standard wood color? I guess we should do it with the black because that adds more contrast. I was going to finish this, and I will later, with some Danish oil and some stuff like that. Yeah, it does look like we're cutting through, but maybe not. I've been surprised before. So who knows? So let's do it with the black backing. And legit question, Y11 want to use a laser to cut. Oh, Acro design. I would 100% do a router to cut this if I was like trying to cut this in the most efficient way possible. There's literally no reason why. For this project specifically, I would use a router bit, but this is LaserBeam Live, okay? We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tutorials on our website on how to actually use the router, but we don't have that much content on how to use a laser. So we figured that this show would just center around using the laser, right? Because, you know, even on Scott's last video, he used the vortex, the laser. So we don't, and that's pretty rare that we use that. So yeah, I figure why not actually give focus on the laser, even though a lot of things we do here could have been cut out with the router, but you guys will make that decision for your project. You guys will be like, oh, I'd rather cut this out with the router. Like Scott has a tutorial where he does coasters and he cuts it out with the router. Yeah, so that's why we do only laser stuff here, or primarily laser stuff here, because yeah, just to give people enough content. So no, you have to run, in order to cut, you have to run it 10 times slower than you would to engrave, right? So when you're engraving, you run it at like an inch per second, which is 25 millimeters per second. Right now it's running at 2 millimeters per second, so even less than 10. This is running usually probably like 12 to 13 times faster. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you guys are new to the laser. Right now I am getting a little bit of flame because I'm moving pretty slow. I might even want to override and go a bit faster in order to try to get rid of the flaming. But that's what the air assist, the stock air assist is for. And right now I'm trying to develop a better version of that. But the stock air assist should do well enough to avoid any flaming. So right now you can, it actually is flaming up right now. And yeah, so normally I would run the air assist, but I've had so many issues with the Pro Air Assist and trying to cut this that I figured I kind of just want it to be very simple, and I want to make sure I can actually just do it without trying to overcomplicate things. So I have the instructions for this watch assembly here. So while this is cutting, hopefully we cut all the way through, but while that's going, I figure why don't I try to assemble this? So we have this little black ring. We have the actual clock, and we put on this little metal mounting thing and put it through here. And I'm going to assume, it doesn't really tell you where certain things are supposed to go, but I'm going to assume that this goes on before the face, and then a washer. I'm going to assume that that goes on before, and then last one of these. So I'm going to assume that that goes after the face. So like that. And then I just put on the hour, minutes, and seconds, and that should tie up this assembly. So I got that on, so let's throw on some of these dials here. And we can see the dials right here. And see that. And I should be able to just, should be able to put that right through the center of our watch. So I feel like this should go, we got the hour. Gotta make sure not to bend it because it's very thin. So we have that. And then we have the minutes. Ooh. I think that might be the right way to go. Maybe I flip it. This is a G2 lens, guys. Oh, sorry, wrong way. I have to flip that. Has to go this way. All right. Just got to make sure that they're all kind of on their own track here so that they don't collide. And then finally, we have the seconds. Let me double check that, Bill. I'll pause it. And I'll quickly. No, we're good. But thanks for the, thanks for caring enough. Because that would have been tragic, guys. If we ran and then we realized, like, oh, it was focus height off again. That would have been very annoying. All right. So we got all the faces. All we need is a battery to plug in the back. Oh, I have the wrong size battery, guys. I need a AA and I have AAA. Yeah, it probably was just the angle. Guys, this is so tragic. Okay, I have to check to see if I have some, I feel like I do have some AAA batteries. I feel like that's the most common one for like remotes. And I feel like I must have some somewhere. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me just quickly check here. Okay, I'm gonna go find AA batteries, okay? AA. Guys, I know I have batteries somewhere in this home. Okay, I got them. Aha. Got one. Okay, we are plugging this in. Which one is negative, which one is positive? And you see the light. Okay, there we go. Zeus. You chasing your tail? Oh, okay. We are in. All right. This thing is going. Oh. So now let's set the time. So what time is it, guys? It is 8:26. So I'm gonna set this 826. Let's wind this up. And I need to tighten the bolt because it is capable of spinning right now. So I need to use a wrench to tighten this in order to keep it kind of in place. But I'm going to try my best to wind this up, all the while aligning the mount to 12 so that I can hang it up. So that's 8. And then let me just make sure that my mount is aligned. And then that's 20. And we're at 24. All right. Guys, we just made a clock. How does that, come on, guys. Look at that. Look at that. I'm gonna hang that on the wall. For the last live stream, you're gonna see this in the corner, right there, hanging from the wall. Not too shabby. This thing looks pretty cool. I think I would definitely make more of these and like give them out as gifts because I can engrave. I can make them super personal and finish them with like oils and polyurethane and all that fun stuff and stain and stuff. And then the kit is pretty cheap. I can even make custom minute and hands, like the clock hands. I can make custom those. So hopefully this finishes and we're actually able to make a second clock here. I'm just gonna use this thing and take it out and put it on that, but hopefully we'll be able to use that and make a second clock because that would be pretty cool. But at least if, you know, it doesn't end up cutting through, we did our best. I was able to cut this off the stream, just making it, taking more time, taking things slow. It definitely took me a few tries and figuring things out, but let's hope that we can do it live. All right. Guys, I'm very excited for you guys to see the CO2 laser. Okay, I've been redesigning everything from scratch over the past 60 days. And the enclosure the frame is done, and I'm just figuring out the side and panels and how I want to mount everything and the lid and everything. And we have a 90 watt Reci tube or Reci tube. It's rated for 75 watts. Okay. We have a 100 watt power supply. Obviously, when you're buying laser power supplies, you always want to buy over what you'll use. Same thing with the max power versus rated power. We would set the amperage, the milliamperage of the laser power supply to only be able to do 75 watts, and we will be testing these. They do come pre-tested, but we will be having our own tests when these things go out. And my whole goal is, now that I have the linear system figured out and how I want it to work, and it works well, and we're gonna be using closed loop steppers to keep things accurate and keep the acceleration high and torque high and everything. We don't lose steps. Now I'm like focusing on the actual enclosure, how I want this thing packaged, because the enclosure kind of makes the personality of the laser. As long as you're buying high quality, like you're buying a Ryuta controller, high quality drivers and motors, a high quality glass, like CO2 glass manufacturer and laser power supply, Most lasers are pretty much the same. It's about how you do certain things. So how do you mount the mirrors? How do you install the lens? How do you do your Z focus height, like your autofocus probe? How are you doing that? It's those little things. How does it look? How does the enclosure look? It's those things that I think actually make a laser a little bit different. I've used a bunch of different lasers. I've used Trotec $50,000 lasers. I've used straight off the boat from Alibaba, $1,000 CO2 lasers. And what really sets each thing apart is those little idiosyncrasies of how you use a laser. How do you focus it? How do you change a lens? How do you align the mirror? How does it look? How do you like the way it looks, the outside, the enclosure? Pretty much everything else is just how much do you want to spend for certain parts. And obviously, guys, you know that we don't mark up as much as our competitors. So, you know, the level of components that we'll have in our machine, another manufacturer might, and actually I say might, but does, and we know this because we've bought these machines, will sell the same components in a $6,000 machine that will sell for $3,500 Canadian, right? And with that American exchange rate right now, I don't even know what that would be. Like just the stock machine, no accessories, $3,500 Canadian is our rough ballpark right now. And that would come in at 2,500 USD. So just imagine that. I know, I'm sorry if you guys are Canadian. We're Canadian, so trust me, we feel it too. But imagine that. Imagine what you can get from some of these large businesses that import overseas lasers and then sell it back to you. 100 watt or 90 watt Recce tube, 75 usable watts of power, 36 inch by 24 inch bed, 2.5 inch Z height, autofocus, Ryuta controller. Some of these machines don't have closed loop stepper motors, right? And hopefully we make an enclosure that looks really good. So, and some of these machines are going for 6,000, 6,500. Some of these machines have worse specs than what I just listed and are going for even more expensive or just around the same range, right? And we're gonna come in at 3,500 Canadian, about that range, with 36 inch bed, 36 by 24 inch bed, 75 watts of usable power, 500 to 1,000 millimeters per second. You never actually run a laser, even a CO2 laser, you never actually run it that fast, but usually that's indicative of how much acceleration you're going to get, which does matter. Even if you're moving at 200 millimeters per second for an engraving, how fast your laser can accelerate does matter. Yeah. So, and then you get our support. So hopefully, once we get this next prototype done, we'll be consulting with third-party testing agencies, and then from there, we'll be doing probably 3 pre-production models to send 2 to the testing agency and then 1 for our internal test, and then they will come back and hopefully they approve us, and then we will announce our launch for pre-order. We'll pick maybe 2 to 5 beta testers, and from opening up pre-orders, I want to be shipping within 6 months, and that is the goal. Yeah. Jeff, that's one thing I haven't figured out yet, only because of safety and certification testing, but I assume so. What I actually think I might do is I think I actually might make the bottom panel removable. So maybe make a little bit of a pass-through system like that. I haven't figured it out yet, but yes, the pass-through feature is so convenient that I can't imagine producing a laser that doesn't have it. Does that make sense? I think I have to make it. Yeah, I know it is a big bed, but sometimes like having that pass through is the difference between having to whip out like another tool that you don't really want to use or whatever, and just being able to slice things up or stack things or tile things. And unless the testing agency says, hey, your laser is amazing, but this pass-through that you added, the way that you're doing it is that's causing you to fail, and we can't figure it out in time. That's the only way I would get rid of a pass-through and just make it. You guys will always be able to remove the bottom panel though, because this thing has to be assembled. So obviously there's a way to disassemble the bottom panel, and yeah. Brown-eyed girl, what is my hair care routine? I don't know if you're sarcastically asking or if you're really asking this. Annabella the Happy Carnivore. Can you show us how you make your dreads? Unfortunately, this is not a black hair care channel. Okay, there are a lot of black hair care channels out there, but I'll give you a quick summary. Okay, wash once a week, condition once a week, retwist the new growth once a week. I have silk pillowcases and bonnets and do-rags and all that to protect and to keep things nice and looking good for longer. And that's about it. Okay, it's one of the many benefits of growing up with three sisters, one who's a professional hairdresser, and all kind of showing me the ropes on how to do that. But if that was a genuine question, that's a genuine answer. So there you go. "51 live streams and nobody's ever asked me about my hair care routine." So I appreciate that, okay? Madra, have a great night. Take it easy. Michael. Everybody's talking about the dreads, but damn, that's a nice beard. Thank you very much, okay? I appreciate you guys. You guys are too kind. All right. Just doing the outline of the numbers here. All right, I'm scared, okay? Because how many times have we done this and we haven't cut through? And I could run it a few more passes. I'm gonna be very honest, I don't think we cut through. I'm gonna let it pass one more time. I'm actually going to stop the job. I'm gonna home it, and then I'm actually going to just drop this down a little bit. And zero all, and then go for it. I refuse to lift that off the bed unless it actually cut through, unless I can see. Right now it could have already cut through, but I just don't know. I cannot, like, if I touch it, then it's done. We have to restart, and I don't want to do that. So I'm taking a risk, and I'm just letting the cut go again because I just want to know. Okay, the center definitely cut all the way through. I know that for a fact. Because it is definitely on fire right now because of how much it cut through. It's definitely on fire. Okay, that's a good sign. I think it cut all the way through. Okay, but I just wanted to know for sure, okay? I wanted to be sure. I wanted to be 100% sure here. This is trauma right now, okay? Why do you think I'm working so hard to build a CO2 laser? As much as I just hate cutting with this thing, that's why you have the CNC router. Guys, this is an attachment on a CNC router. So everything you see me going through right now, you guys don't have to go through this. Just cut it out with your CNC router and then do the engraving. Engraving is a much easier process. Although sometimes it does take time to do something large, it's just a much easier process. Doug says, throw in a macaroon. Guys, we did do that a long time ago. We did gingerbreads, macaroons. Yeah, I think that was like the Christmas episode. Yeah. Someone sent me a picture of bologna. Yeah, honestly, guys, I'm at the point where I know that I love to do laser projects. I like to do laser projects more than I like to do CNC router projects. Um, so I had to build a machine for it, right? Because this is not going to be the best for cutting. But if you, like me, love CO2 lasers, love laser projects, and you just want to be able to do more than you could ever do with a low power diode. I know companies are coming out with 6, 8 diodes, 12 diodes, 12 5-watt diodes in order to get 60 watts of power. But what is that power consumption? What, and you still can't cut clear acrylic, no matter how many like 5-watt blue light diodes you stack on to get 100, a million watts, you cannot cut clear acrylic. And that's such a common material that people want to make with. You can't cut certain material. You can't cut certain colored like acrylic. It's like, I don't even want to. Guys, this is a great add-on for a CNC machine. But after that, I want to do CO2. Like, I think it should be diode lasers with a CO2 CNC machine. Or if it's your first laser, then yeah, get your bearings. If you're looking for a laser machine, get your bearings with a low power diode machine. But I think after that, just go to a CO2. There are tons of small CO2s, stuff overseas. I think it's worth it for most people who do like doing laser jobs. Yeah. And that's what we're gonna do. So guys, something very cool is coming. So although I'm not really sad that we're going to be ending this or actually pausing this LaserBeam Live, because it's going to come back as the UltraBeam Live, and we're going to be doing CO2 laser projects, and you're going to see the difference. Guys, this could get done. This was maybe like a 2-3 hour job, maybe like a 2-hour job, 3-hour job on the laser diode here, but on a CO2 laser, this can get done in like 35 minutes, and it will be like extremely powerful, like extremely dark engraving, deep engravings. Oh yeah, guys, we are definitely going to be doing a fiber after that, but the alt mill is perfect for a fiber laser, guys. So all we're going to do, honestly, I think with, okay, first I'll Jack and Shop. I'm already interested in fiber lasers because we have the alt mill as a platform. So once that has some years under its belt, and we actually have a few customers who are going to be throwing a fiber on it, then we're going to start looking for fiber laser manufacturers overseas that we can start purchasing and retrofitting to the alt mill, and then building out maybe enclosure kits, because you do need an enclosure for the fiber. And yeah, so yeah, it'll essentially be a fiber laser alt mill kit that we'll be working on. In probably next year, probably end of next year. We'll see how the CO2 laser stuff goes. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. And then Dana's question is the life of the CO2 laser, the tube, more or less than the diode? On paper, they're exactly the same. This says 10,000 hours rated for life. The tube says 10,000 hours rated for life. I just think you're gonna get more life out of the CO2 laser, this laser tube. Yeah, so you can see Jack has a 60-watt tube for 4 years. We had a 60-watt tube that we did in-house manufacturing for about 4 years, and it actually didn't die. It was like the electronics had died before the tube died. So yeah, as long as you have good power water cooling, and honestly, you can use an aquarium and a pump if you're using low power, like 40 to 60 watt. On our 75 watt, 100 watt laser right now, we use a water chiller. And we will be selling a water chiller with our CO2 laser because it's 75 watts. If you guys do want to use like the cheaper water chiller that's not really refrigerated, it's just like a radiator, we'll sell that for a little bit cheaper. And then obviously you guys will sell the aquarium pump, and you guys can buy a bucket and aquarium pump. But just know that that will shorten the life, because unless you live in cold temperatures, right? It's all about the temperature of the coolant, right? So if your temperature is always cool, it doesn't really matter what's cooling the water, whether you buy a chiller from us or you're throwing ice cubes in a bucket and an aquarium pump that's pumping the water, or you live in really cold. Maybe your garage is really cold, so you never have to worry about the heating up the water that's cooling down your laser. You don't have to worry about that. But yeah, so 3 to 5 years is very real. You can get 3 to 5 years on your diode as well. I think it's just because of the cooling. I think you have better cooling with the CO2 laser because it's water cooled rather than air and heat sink cooled. And I think just in general that the water cooling, when you have a diode heating up and you have a laser tube heating up, the thing that's going to determine longevity is going to be your cooling, your heat dissipation, right? And I think that water cooling is just a better way to dissipate heat for this glass tube. Obviously, if you go to RF lasers, you're going to end up seeing heat sink and air, like fan cooled systems for RF lasers, right? But for glass tubes, I think this is going to be the best, and you're going to get about 3 to 5 years, 3 to 5 real years. Like it's going to be I think it's going to be very rare that somebody blows out their tube. As long as they follow our settings, make sure that they don't overpower their tube. I think it's going to be pretty rare. Yeah, exactly. Like this is a perfect example. Engraving and cutting this is a 3-hour job on this laser diode. It is a 30-minute job on a CO2 laser. I tested that today. So yeah, I'm very excited. Guys, like I said before, I'm not going to leave this LaserBeam behind. I think what I'd like to do is continue to hire co-op students, engineering co-op students, and have them work on the development of the LaserBeam while I focus full force on the development of the UltraBeam, because this doesn't demand as much kind of focus as the UltraBeam, but the UltraBeam will demand a lot of focus, guys. It is a dangerous machine. Not only are you dealing with lasers, but you're dealing with high power, high voltage, right? You're dealing with kilovoltage. Although it's lower amperage than this, you are dealing with kilovoltage. So it does need to be safe. It's a lot more testing than this. This got FDA compliance and we had to test it, but CO2 laser has to get tested a lot more. It'll be the first machine that we build that actually has to ship assembled, right? So it's gonna have to ship in a crate. And you guys are gonna have to kind of lift it and put it in your shop. So that's new for us as well. So this is gonna be a few new ventures for us. So it does demand a lot of attention. I feel like we cut all the way through. But I've said that before, only to have it not. So I feel like I'm traumatized at this point. I'll let it run for another 5 minutes. What's another 5 minutes? Or maybe I'll just raise the speed. I'll override it to like 100 or yeah, 200%. We'll override the speed so that it finishes up a lot quicker. So guys, like I said, next LaserBeam Live is going to be the last, and then we're going to come back when we're ready to launch the UltraBeam, the CO2 laser, and we'll start the UltraBeam Lives, and hopefully we'll have another successful 2 years of live streaming that. Yeah, I like that I was able to keep it consistent. Other than traveling, I think I had to pre-record 3 live streams only because of travel. Yeah, I believe it was 3 live streams I pre-recorded. And all 3 times it was only because I was traveling. And I think all 3 times I was still able to be in the chat, so. Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's true. Maybe we'll add some 3D printed stands. Oh yeah, Jason is a demon. Jason is leaving for a month for a well-earned vacation, but he's been grinding customer service and technical support for the alt mill and for the long mill. He's been training some new employees, and he's been working with Daniel, and Daniel's been going hard on the customer service as well. He will be going on vacation very soon, well-earned vacation for a month, because he has also been putting in a lot of work when it comes to the alt mill. But yeah, guys, in a perfect world, my plan for lasers is to release a bunch of add-ons for the LaserBeam, release my LED light just shut off. All right. I guess I'm being haunted, guys. It's ghosts and ghouls. Let me see if I have a charger here for this LED light. do, but it's a little bit of a pain in the ass. I don't know. I don't have a lot of slack here. I don't know. Sorry guys, technical difficulties with the lighting here. Trying to get this untangled, this cord untangled. All right, I think I got it. Let me plug this charger in. Oh, there we go. And I'm back. I'm back. Doug's no problem. Guys, we shipped out the first 50 alt mills. We're shipping out the next 150 to 200 orders over the next couple months. We're working on our processes, our safety. Yeah, lots of great things are happening in the office that will benefit the future of the company. Closed loop steppers, 16,000 or 25,000 millimeters per minute. That's crazy. Yeah, the alt mill is kind of crazy. I've used it a few times now to cut out some aluminum die bond for the CO2 laser enclosure. And guys, it's quite the machine. I think right now they're testing 3 kilowatt spindles right now. So it is intense. And still, the 3 kilowatt spindles are not the limiting factor on an alt mill, or the alt mill is not the limiting factor. So technically they could go up to 4 kilowatt, but they're just testing, and they'll give you guys even more updates once the testing is done. Yeah, for sure, Bill. I understand that the CO2 laser is not going to be for everybody, but I know there's a good chunk of our customers that can get a lot done with it. So I'm excited to kind of provide that to our customers. Got to sell something to get one. Any suggestions? You can do clocks. You can get the Vortex, and you can do tumblers with the laser. Get the Vortex riser mount, the Vortex and the laser, and you could do tumblers, and you can engrave Yetis and like thermal things. I forgot all the brands. I know there's the Hydro Flask and the Yetis, right? But yeah, you can do tumblers. You could do personal engravings of people. So you can do clocks. You can mill them out. You can do coasters. Yeah, just check out all of our videos. We have so many Scott's series of videos, my LaserBeam videos, and every other video, project video on our YouTube channel is a potential idea. I think because you own the thing, or because you own a long mill, you might as well just start making things and just see what sells. You could sell the Corvette, you could sell the Harley, you could sell the dog. If you have a rare hairless cat, you could sell the hairless cat. I think those go for pretty high on auction. You could steal your neighbor's dog or cat and then sell that, and then help them look for it when they put the missing sign up. Okay, that's kind of diabolical. Okay, I'm joking. Don't do that. Okay, don't do that. Never the Harley. Okay, don't sell the Harley, but you can sell the Ducati. Okay, you can sell the Suzuki. You could sell that 200 horsepower riding lawnmower that you have. You can rent out your shed to your brother-in-law's deadbeat son. Okay. Zeus, did you hear that? No, he's look at him. He's laying there like a lazy bum. Zeus. There we go. Now he's alive. Good boy. Have chicken. Yeah, you can overnight it in a nice ice in an ice box. Overnight some chicken. Oh, that's funny. Dana, I'm sorry. Okay, I was joking. I was joking, guys. This is my tight five comedy routine. Okay, I'm going to open mics, and yeah, that's all that was. Okay, uh, the views of Ikenna do not reflect the views of CNC Labs as a company. Please take everything with a grain of salt and some humor. Thank you. Okay, that was my disclaimer. We're all good. Okay, I damn near torched this thing. I'm pretty sure it cut out pretty, like after a little bit after the first run, but I'm just so paranoid I let it run again, and yeah. But I think I pretty much torched this thing. Guys, we didn't even cut through. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if this is some type of magic wood. Like I have so much video proof of me cutting out 3mm birch. But somehow I haven't been able to cut out this 3mm, whatever it is, over the past 3 streams. And I'm actually, I'm going crazy. I'm going a little bit crazy, guys. I feel like I'm like trying to convince you guys, but guys, this isn't. You guys have seen how many live streams have we cut out this stuff? We've cut 1/4 inch, okay? We've cut 1/4 inch plywood, but today, or these past 3 streams, I can't cut anything. Maybe it is the honeycomb. Maybe I need to try like the slats for this type of cut. I don't know. But that's why I ran this project earlier, so that this wouldn't happen. So that at least we don't leave without getting to see the finished product of what we were trying to make. So, although I am frustrated a little bit, thank you, Chris, for the idea of pre-cutting the project where there's no time limit or anything, so that just in case anything happened, like what just happened and what happened over the past 3 streams, we still get to see the finished product. So it's 3mm plywood, 3mm black acrylic in the backing, and a very cheap clock kit from Amazon. Came in a pack of 3 clocks. And that's all you need to make custom clockware. And yeah, I don't know what we'll do for the next live stream. Maybe it'll be a LaserBeam greatest hits. Yeah, actually, Chris, our CTO, outsmarted the demo fail. Okay, I was like, Chris, I don't even want to hear any. He's like, I have a few tips for you, and I was like, I don't even want to hear it. I'm just so frustrated with this live stream and with this project I'm doing. I don't even want to hear the tip. And he's like, and I was like, okay, tell me. And he's like, you can pre-make the stuff on the LaserBeam before the stream, so that even if you fail, you get to like. He was like, maybe you can do a thing like, oh, you just whip it out at the end and be like, oh, and this is the finished thing. But you know, in the end, that was the best idea because it kind of saved me today, and I'm actually pretty happy with this. And I'm gonna be like putting this on my wall. So for the last LaserBeam Live, next LaserBeam Live number 52, you guys will get to see this somewhere up there. Okay, somewhere up there you'll get to see it. Okay, so guys, I'm very proud of this show and what we did. I will be back, so don't worry, because I do love the community that we've built here and what we've been able to do. It's a fun time. Even if we do fail at cutting 3 streams in a row, it's still a fun time. So I will be back. Doug, what time, actually don't tell me. Okay, don't dox yourself. Don't tell me what time zone you're in. But yeah, guys. What time is it, guys? It is almost time to end the stream. Before I go, I'll give you my spiel, and you guys know it. You know the deal. My name is Ikenna Ofoha for CNC Labs, and whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, or night, I appreciate you spending just a little bit of time with me, your boy. This has been LaserBeam Live, episode number 51. Holy, almost 2 years. And I appreciate you. Like the stream right now. Do me that favor. Like the stream. If you're watching this back, like the video. Nicholas, thanks for joining. Doug's, thanks for joining me. Bill, thanks for joining. Jack in the shop, thanks for joining. Dana, thank you for joining. Who am I missing? Michael, thanks for joining. Annabella, the happy carnivore, if you're still in here, thanks for joining. Brown-eyed girl, thanks for joining. Jeff Baker, thanks for joining. Madra left earlier, but thank you for joining. Who else? Am I missing anybody? I'm scrolling through chat. I think I got just about everyone. You guys have a great evening or afternoon or night, wherever you are. And I will catch you on LaserBeam Live, episode number 52, for some exciting stuff. Maybe we'll do a highlight reel of all our past streams. We'll have a little bit of champagne, and maybe we'll give Zeus a party hat, and we'll have a little bit of a blast. We'll send off the final live stream in a fun way, but it's not truly the final live stream. It's essentially, we're taking a season break. It's the season finale, and then we're coming back for a new season, okay? I will catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for joining me, and yeah, take it easy.